This is condition red, dangerous levels of sulfur dioxide. Now Kilauea's crater is ready to blow. 38 years ago this week in Washington state, when Mount St. Helens blew, towns were buried in ash.
The morning of May 18th, 1980. It was like any other Sunday morning for a Forest Service tree planting crew on the lower southern flank of the mountain. Until 8:32 a.m. Seemed to happen in an instant. A cubic mile, tons of ash, rock, and ice were rocketed into the stratosphere.
Oh, I just felt an earthquake, a good one. Oh, now we've got an eruption down here. Now we got a big slide coming off. The slide is coming off of the west slope. Now we got a whole great big eruption out of the crater. And we got another that opened up on the west side, and the whole west side, northwest side is sliding down. Oh, wait, we got it, boy. The whole northwest section and north section blown up, trying to, it's coming up over the ridge towards me. I'm going to back out of here.
The cloud reached nearly 14 miles into the sky. The view was spectacular, but the wind was blowing in a northeasterly direction. And from that point of view, the cloud seemed like the end of the world. The skies grew dark. And at noon, it was pitch black in most of eastern Washington.
Everyone to not panic. If you want to start getting out some water supplies now to
life in the ash storm came to a gritty halt.
I'm assuming the road is closed from here any further east. Okay. This is as far east as you can go.
Those who could move, however, moved quickly. The 304th Aerospace Rescue and Recovery Squadron from the Portland Air Base was called in to find geologist David Johnston, who was manning a scientific lookout above Coldwater Creek, 6 miles northwest of the mountain. He was never found.
Nothing matches the map. Where's Spirit Lake? Is that it over there? I can't believe I've camped up in this area. Doesn't look like any place I've ever been before.
As most of you already know, we had a major eruption occurring at 8:32 approximately this morning on Mount St. Helens. The first report that we actually got about the eruption was from Forest Service personnel that were administering a tree planting contract, and they reported over the radio to us that an eruption was occurring, and it seemed to be about 100 times greater than one that we've ever had in the past. It does appear that the northwest flank of the mountain seems to be gone. They have indicated that there have been some mud flows that have come down the southeast flank of the mountain. Emergency procedures have been put into effect. At 10:15 this morning, the Cowlitz County reported that a 12-foot wall of water was coming down the Toutle River, and this was verified by the Washington State Patrol.
The largest rescue mission in the history of the Northwest was soon underway.
Look to the left now. Good. What do you have with that? That from over here?
Military helicopter units and other rescue squads joined the effort, coordinated by the county sheriff departments. By the end of the rescue operations, which lasted 2 weeks, more than 170 people were brought to safety. But in the final count, 61 were dead or missing.
Japanese car sometime.
Rotor wash from the helicopters kicked up great clouds of ash, making rescue difficult. In many places, it was impossible to land. Rescuers were lowered by cable to assist survivors who were then reeled to safety. Photographer Gary Rosenquist barely escaped. Radio operator Jerry Martin did not.
Oh, wait, we got it, boy. The whole northwest section and north section blown up, trying to, it's coming up over the ridge towards me. I'm going to back out of here.
Now it could happen again on an island where they wait and worry.
Inside Kilauea's crater, just a few miles behind me, explosions are ongoing, sending smoke and ash flying into the air. Right now, ash isn't falling on populated areas, but all of that could change. This may be a preview of what's to come.
wind can change at any time. And of course, if you're caught up in that, there's no way to get out of it.
Tonight, new fountains of lava as the Earth splits apart. From outer space, astronauts can see Kilauea.
The damage from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is growing. Dangerous levels of toxic gas are seeping from fissures. Lava has engulfed dozens of homes and buildings, and nearly 2,000 people have been evacuated, but not everyone fled. Demian Barrios is a storm chaser turned lava chaser. He joins me now to talk about the impact of the volcano and what it's making on the island exactly. Demian, thank you very much first off for joining us. You know, most people move away from the lava. You're running towards it. What can you tell us sort of about why you're doing this, and what have you seen so far that surprised you?
Well, you know, I've been an active lava photographer, and I've been calling myself a lava chaser on this particular flow because we've had to chase it. These fissure eruptions are not as predictable as most of the flows we've had here. So we're running in there because we're trying to get near the area to be able to document, take some videos. We've also had a lot of the residents and community in the area reach out to us that are not able to have access, and we're providing reports for them on the ground. A lot of people have asked us to check in on their properties and safety, check in on animals and stuff. And, you know, we're seeing a lot of devastation here. A lot of these explosions have been pretty big and pretty violent, sending lava bombs into near areas. When the fissures open up, we have, you know, active lava just spewing out and shooting up into the sky. And you know, Leilani in particular has just been completely decimated. All the streets, a lot of the streets are impassable. They have lava breaching them. Even streets that don't have lava have cracks with steam coming out. Homes have been lost. And I know the community is under siege right now. A lot of people are shocked about this, and it's just been overwhelming to, you know, watch both the destruction as well as the power and the magnificence of this volcano. Yeah, magnificence is such a great word. Tell me though, Demian, what is it like to be so close to the lava and these hot spots? You know, it's very intense. It can get very hot, obviously, and there's you get a very strong sense of being present. You feel very alive. You know, you can feel the heat, you can smell the different smells, you can kind of taste them in your mouth. When the explosions go off, you can feel those reverberations in your chest. You can feel the ground shaking. Watching the lava shoot up into the sky and these huge plumes being formed, especially at night, is very amazing. I mean, your jaw just drops. You're sitting there. Sometimes I've had to pinch myself to make sure I'm still here because it's just an amazing sight. You know, my heart goes out to all the people who have lost homes and the community and the people being evacuated and displaced. But having said that, this is a very impressive eruption, and we're trying to, you know, I've been getting close, getting photos, documenting, and it really just makes you feel alive. It's almost an addictive feeling being down here. I can imagine how it could be very addictive and very dangerous at the same time. You were talking a little bit about these new fissures that keep opening up. Tell us a little bit more sort of about the threat that these fissures pose. Well, you know, most of the flows that we've seen here on the Big Island are either the A'a or Pahoehoe flows, and those tend to flow downslope. So they're somewhat very predictable, mostly mellow. You know, they have been known to take over homes and communities, but they're very predictable. These fissure eruptions, as the ones you can see in here behind me, you know, we're up to fissure number 20. So there's been 20 separate cracks that have opened up and turned into fissures and actually been shooting lava out. And those have been a little bit more dangerous because of their unpredictability. We don't know where they're going to pop up next. And when they do, you know, they can happen somewhat suddenly. And, you know, lots of homes, dozens of homes have been consumed by the lava. Thousands of people have been evacuated. And this entire area, you know, it looks like a war zone with, you know, streets shut down. We got the National Guard here. There's police barricades everywhere. And especially you go through Leilani, you know, it looks like a war zone. There's cracks in the street with smoke coming out. Everything looks abandoned. There's lava shattered, you know, splattered all over across the road in some areas. And you know, I don't know the exact figure, but I know several hundred, if not 1,000 acres of the area has been completely covered by this lava.